KSI wasn't robbed whatsoever. Tommy Fury clearly won, but Tommy Fury is an embarrassment for not dominating these guys. Dillon Danis is also an absolute embarrassment and doesn't deserve to be talked about ever again because he just had the worst performance I've ever seen from someone who was talking so much in the build-up, enough to make me actually root for him to win. Logan Paul's trash as well, and both of the main and co-main events were absolutely terrible fights, and the rest of the card was really good and actually filled with a bit of talent, to be honest with you. So I really enjoyed the rest of the card. We're going to talk about all of that in today's video, starting with KSI versus Tommy Fury. Now, there are NPCs in this world that are KSI fans. I completely understand it. You're programmed a certain way. You have no conscious mind whatsoever. So when the commentary is telling you that KSI is landing and winning, even though he's not, and he's being outpointed by Tommy Fury in the last 4 rounds, you go, robbery, and you start doing that. I completely understand. This wasn't a robbery. Was it a close fight? Yes, it absolutely was. Tommy Fury should be ashamed of himself as a guy who's been doing this for 15 years of his life, since he was a kid, for actually somehow making this a close fight. And his family should honestly be ashamed of him as well. Should honestly be ashamed of him. How are you not smoking these guys, Tommy? You should have flatline KO'd Jake Paul and flatline KO'd KSI. Failed to do it both times. Embarrassing. Now, I know the commentary was paid off to make you guys believe that KSI won. I completely get it. And I know that you guys have downs. And I understand that as well. And I do feel bad for you. And I know that you live vicariously through KSI for some bizarre reason. Even though he's only popular because he has a laugh that he puts on and over-exaggerates and looks like a xenomorph. Either way, he didn't win that fight. Not only did he not win that fight, he fought like an absolute coward. I'm going to get to Danis in a minute. KSI fought like an absolute coward out there. Straight up. He tried to rob a win against Tommy Fury. KSI fans, and all these people saying robbery, by the way, didn't even know what rounds to say they thought KSI won. Not kidding. I'm sure there were people out there that were saying 1, 2, and 6 KSI and a point deduction. What a robbery. I'm sure there were people saying that somewhere. But the majority of people were like, damn, I don't know how you can give that to Tommy Fury. That was a KSI win or a draw. First of all, impossible to be a draw because there were no 10-8 rounds for Tommy Fury. And there was 1 for KSI. And other than that, it's a 6-rounder. So there has to be an odd number. Anyone who said it could have been a draw, even I said it dumbly before I did the maths. Like, you're just wrong. Mathematically, there has to be a winner. And Tommy Fury arguably won the last 4 rounds compared to KSI, who did nothing in the last 4 rounds. He landed 1 good shot in the 6th, and other than that, he whiffed, missed, and hugged Tommy Fury like a coward. I thought there was a lot of clinching in Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, and there was. First of all, boxing is terrible. The main and co-main event were terrible fights to watch in general. I'm sad I missed the UFC prelims for that. Either way, KSI won round 1 by landing the bigger shot out of the 2 of them when they both landed big shots on each other. Round 2, KSI landed the better shots. Both guys landed shots though, but KSI landed the better ones, and there was a point deduction, so 10-8 round 2 to KSI. 3, 4, 5, and 6, KSI whiffed nearly everything. I don't care what the stats say about partially landed. The only one landing clean and good was Tommy Fury, and that's what boxing judges care about. Simple as that. Tommy Fury won 3, 4, 5, and 6, which means he wins the fight 4-3 on points individually per round, including the fact that you give KSI 2 points in round 2. Let's just do it like that rather than the 10-8, 10-9 stuff, which does get confusion. 4-3 Tommy Fury easily won the last 4 rounds. KSI did nothing but try and hug him. Absolute coward. Jake Paul at least was swinging. I'm farting right now. I'm that angry. Jake Paul at least was swinging some big shots and staying in the pocket and trying to trade with Tommy Fury on the outside in a boxing stance. Although KSI's fight was closer, he fought like a coward for it to be closer. Should have had points deducted for stalling. My honest opinion. Anytime Tommy Fury came into land, KSI ducked under the belt line and hugged him and tried to put his head under the armpit of Fury, who just started cranking on it eventually. And the referee was like complaining at Fury, and I'm like, what are you talking about? KSI's ducking down into him for a hug anytime he ever gets close for anything. Absolute coward's play by KSI. But he lost all of the last rounds. And all of the people screaming about a robbery are just blue checkmark people who want KSI's clout and want to be on his good side and maybe one day want to be in a Sidemen video. That's all they are. Complaining about a robbery. He clearly lost that fight. There's an argument for round 5 maybe, but you didn't land the better shots out of the two of them. And Tommy Fury was the one always pushing the action. And KSI was the one on the back foot, dancing around like a Downs MVP and clinching for a hug every time. That doesn't look good for the judges. He lost the last 4 rounds and lost the fight because of it. Absolutely clearly. How are people calling this a robbery? How are people calling it a robbery? Disgraceful performance from KSI. Disgraceful from Tommy Fury. How are you not, like, schooling these guys? How are you not, like, moving out of the way of KSI's right hand? Uppercut, left hook, straight right hand. Like, simple stuff that you should be making reads on. KSI did the same thing over and over and over again in this fight. It's all he has. Step through, overhand right, duck down into the clinch and try and punch from there. That's all he does. That's all he was doing. I can't believe Tommy Fury didn't let him get to a decision in the first place. That's embarrassing. That's an L for him anyway. But he won this decision clear. And KSI had a meltdown in the ring about it because he's delusional and tarded. And I just don't understand how people like him. Like, he's delusional. The only reason he's in any way entertaining is because he over-exaggerates his fake laugh. Outside of that, hideous. Absolutely hideous. Beyond belief. And I thought Slim was bad. He's absolutely hideous. Looks like a xenomorph from Alien vs. Predator. Absolutely disgusting to look at. All he does is over-exaggerate his laugh. No wittiness to him. He's brain-dead dumb and delusional and egotistical. Same with Logan Paul. How do people like them? Really sucks for the future generation. KSI had a meltdown in the ring. Tommy Fury should be getting a whooping from John Fury at home for that performance, making it so close. I think it's clear that John Fury ain't the guy that's making these champions. Tyson Fury and Huey Fury and Shane Fury's mums, even though Shane Fury ain't a champion, I get it. Their mum is the real champion seed in the Fury family. It ain't John Fury. It really ain't. Because Tommy Fury looks nothing like him. Looks all like the mum. I'm telling you, dude. Maybe they get their hype from him. That's all they get from him. But at the same time, Tommy Fury is an embarrassment to do that for 15 years and still make it close. We move on. Dillon Danis is an absolute disgrace to humanity. Don't even trash him on his social media pages. Don't go after him and call him names. Don't make memes about him whatsoever. He's an embarrassment. Let him sit alone in a room and think about what he's done. Let him sit alone and think about what he's done. He's a coward. Jiu-Jitsu, I'm never trusting it again. I've said it so many times. I picked Logan Paul to win, but I was like rooting for Dillon Danis, and I just went, you know what, Logan Paul wins, but let's go Danis. That was my mindset in this fight, because Logan Paul is a disgrace to the white race. Absolutely true. Disgrace to us. I hate that he's a representative on the main stage that people can actually see. Really despise that, and I wish he would have got laid out cold. He's such an absolute weirdo. No personality. No nothing. No funny. I've never laughed at anything he's ever said. At all. Married to a whore. Like, it's just, he's such a soy boy. The lawsuit as well. How are people chanting Logan Paul? I know they're 12 years old or have Down syndrome. I get there's those people out there. But still, how is there fans of Logan Paul? I don't understand it whatsoever. He's a disgrace to us on the main stage. Should have been knocked out by Dillon Danis. Hate him representing us on the main stage. Either way, yeah, I took it there. I don't care anymore. I took it there. Either way, he won. Doesn't even twist over his rear foot when he throws a right hand. No hips into anything. Doesn't twist over his lead into his left hook. Basic stuff. Your first pad session, the guy's going to tell you to do that stuff. Simple as that. He don't do any of it. Arm punches with his long range because he's taller than everyone he fights and bigger than everyone he fights. And he's on the source. Rangier than all of them as well. Just arm punches with no pop on them whatsoever. He throws punches without turning them over at all. I've never seen him throw a hook turned over. The only shot he's landed that was good was an uppercut on KSI. That's all he's landed that's ever been good. He throws these slapping shots with this part of his glove. Like, what is he doing out there? But Danis. I was actually rooting for him in the build-up here. And I was coping round by round. Round 1, I was saying, he's just going to take it easy, let Logan gas himself out. Round 2, Logan goes for him. And I'm like, with his little slapping arm punches that he does, like he's never trained before in his life. Round 2, Danis is like, okay, well, he's not throwing anything at all here either. So let's just, he's waiting for him to gas out here, guys. Logan's going to gas out. Round 3. Any minute now, guys. Any minute now. Trust me. He'll do it soon. He'll actually throw a punch in a second, guys. Don't you worry about that. Round 4 comes around. 2 rounds left, everyone. Clock's ticking. Don't worry. He's about to empty the gas tank. Round 6. This has got to be the round that he just absolutely swarms Logan Paul. Never does anything to try and win whatsoever. Absolute embarrassment. Absolute embarrassment. You had to knock out Logan Paul. Stop letting him represent this complexion on the main stage. He's such a fucking freak. Embarrassment, man. Stop it. Somebody stop it. It's so embarrassing. And I'm seeing ESPN MMA right now. I've got it on my screen, which is why it's fucking boomed up. Same energy. Danis on his back against Logan Paul and Nick Diaz on his back against Anderson Silva. ESPN, take it down! Take it down! This is not the same. You do not compare Dillon Danis to Nick Diaz, and you do not compare Logan Paul to Anderson Silva. Get it off! Take it down, ESPN, you fucking disgrace. About same energy. Get it down. Logan Paul's a coward. Nick Diaz did that and then walked down Anderson talking shit to him in a championship fight. Get it down off your page, you disgrace of a company. Then, ESPN posts both Paul brothers had to defend against MMA maneuvers during their recent fights. Nate Diaz guillotining Jake Paul and Danis failing a takedown, by the way, on Logan Paul. Take it down! This isn't cool. It's embarrassing. Take it down, ESPN MMA. Whose side are you on? He couldn't even take down Logan by surprise. He couldn't even get a guillotine on Logan. And the most embarrassing thing about all of it. The most embarrassing thing about all of it. After the fight, fails the guillotine. Logan throws a hammer fist to the ground that doesn't land. Dillon Danis gets back up, runs at Logan, and then Logan turns around and Danis doesn't even throw at him. After all of that, you're already DQ'd, the fight's over, you want to start a brawl, at least throw a shot then, you absolute coward. You're a coward, Dillon Danis. You're a Twitter warrior. Conor McGregor should absolutely disown you. I've seen McGregor like, yeah, you're Dillon, yeah, do your thing, Louis. What a spectacle of a fucking performance that was, Louis. No. Disown this creep. Don't talk about Dillon Danis ever again. Get rid of him out of the sport of any combat sport. Let him fade into irrelevancy for that performance. Clown. Absolute clown. Logan Paul don't know how to throw a punch with his body weight behind it. Get rid of Dillon Danis. I'm beyond pissed off at this whole event. Terrible main and co-main event on skill, by the way. Both of them looked awful. Boxing cannot compete with MMA. They need an even highest level boxing is good. I'm sorry, I don't mean to paint boxing out to be what that was at that Misfits card. I'm never buying one again and watching it. I'll buy Jake Paul KSI if they make it next, but still, that was embarrassing. Either way, we move on to the rest of the card. Actually pretty good from all of them. And I was roasting them in the middle of it because I'm like, haha, these guys are so bad and all this type of stuff. But in comparison to the main and co-main event, the rest of the card were absolute savages. And when you want to get into it, Where am I going to start? Fuck Tempo Arts. He arguably could have got a draw in that fight, but he's just a morbidly obese dude. DTG beat the guy who sings Down Like That because he didn't know how to throw a punch. Astrid Wet is mid. I don't know how people pay for her sexually. I don't understand that at all. Ed Matthews slept Swarms and the whole world coped about it. I saw that. That was crazy. I like Ed Matthews as well. Ed Matthews enjoyers are based. That's honestly true. KSI Logan Paul enjoyers, shrimpy little worms. Ed Matthews enjoyers, Giga Chad, based people. If you're an Ed Matthews enjoyer. I know you're out there, some of you. I like Ed Matthews. He's hilarious. And he's a savage. If you could put Ed Matthews' brain in like King Kenny's body and ability, you'd have an absolute monster on your hands. You know what I mean? Because King Kenny got held to death by Anthony Taylor, even though he was indulging in the clinch as well. He don't have no grit to him. At least Ed Matthews came out like a pit bull and did land a clean left hand on the side of the head of what's his name? He did land a clean left hand on, what's his name? Swarms. Oh, these nicknames, so sad. Ed Matthews landed a clean left hand on Swarms. Everyone was like, damn, he really did roll his ankle. Like, Ed didn't just sleep him badly. The reason why he rolled his ankle is because he sailed unconscious to the canvas from a left hook on the jaw side from Ed Matthews. Credit to him. Hit the back flip like Gaethje afterwards. Great win from Ed Matthews. That was good. On a day's notice as well. Embarrassed Swarms. Ryan Taylor's a coward. Then you've got the tag team is what it is. Wasabi dropped Pineda because Pineda's built like a worm regardless of his boxing ability. And then arguably should have got a knockdown scored against him by B-Dave, if I remember. Absolute Chad mulleted Texan. Then you've got, again, I talked about King Kenny. Deen the Great and Walid are genuinely good. They're genuinely good. That's what I'm going to have to say about them. Deen the Great is genuinely good. I wouldn't say great, but he's genuinely good at boxing, you know. Him and Walid are genuinely good, and I respect both of them. Walid, tough as nails, 19 years old. I thought, I'm old. I'm 25 now. You know what I mean? I thought I was young. Walid is 19 years old. In a massive situation like that, taking big shots, getting dropped, dragging himself up off the canvas, and then pouring it on Deen at the end of the 5th round. Should have been way longer on rounds, by the way. But either way, Deen's timing was good, crisp. Even with a bad arm, it looked like in moments he was still finding the timing on Walid. And just seemed like Walid Deen could get going after getting tagged by Walid. Walid couldn't get going after getting tagged by Deen. That was the story of this fight. And it only took until the end of round 5 before Walid had any more success on Deen the Great. Great performance by Deen. You dig? Cringe that he keeps saying that. Salt Papi was actually looking really good against Slim, and I was laughing at Slim like he's terrible. He's just getting pieced apart by a shorter opponent. Salt Papi he don't move his head enough, man. He gets into the pocket, and you know what it is? He's got like that street boxing style of just being too happy with his work. This is where we'll end it. Isn't this the last one I've got to break down? He's too happy with his work. He'll like get into the clinch and then just stand there squared stance with Slim with his arms down, like admiring that he just landed that body shot. And then boom, Slim would tag him with a big shot. And eventually that chin ain't going to hold up. Slim was hitting him with some big shots. But the difference was Salt Papi wasn't digging to the body enough. He should have ripped to the body whenever he had Slim exhausted up against the ropes. But he was going to the head around the guard and trying to do all this slick combo work. And not actually sitting down into any heat missile seeking shots. You know what I mean? There was no like, in Salt Papi's shots. It was just like slap, 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 slap. And it's easy to look technical when you're throwing shots like that. Put some oomph in it and he probably would have finished Slim. But Slim finished him because he put that oomph in his shots. Great job by Slim. Surprised me by knocking down Salt there and then finished him off afterwards. I'm done breaking this down and I'm probably never going to watch it again. I've got all I needed to say is off my chest. Hopefully you enjoyed this video of me absolutely ranting for 19 minutes on end. See you later. Goodbye. What a waste of money for that main and co-main event. You know what? Put the rest of the fights on and I'll pay for it. That was actually enjoyable. Main and co-main event, fucking clown show. Absolute clown show. Give me KSI Jake Paul. Winner gets Tommy Fury. And you know what? Just let Vidal Riley sleep Tommy Fury. He's fully an embarrassment, you know. I bet you did do something like Tommy Fury versus Slim or Logan Paul. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.